Everything I spit rare, we sound in that great area podcast. They talk about hip hop all the way in the UK, so they gon' get props. Ooh, let me catch you once again.
I guess I'll start this one off then, because I'm the one that brought this topic to the forefront. But I don't know. I feel like in today's day and age, you don't really need to spend any money to enjoy art. You can go online, look at the Mona Lisa. You can go online, look at the Eiffel Tower. You could go online and listen to any song from all time. Obviously, there's some songs that are purposely not online that have been sold at auction or blah 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 whatever. But more often than not, any music that comes out nowadays, you can go online and listen to it in pretty good quality, depending on what you've got to listen to it on. Car speakers are probably the best thing that most people own for a professional sound system perspective. But the last month or two, I was like, I'm not really going to go to any more concerts for personal reasons that I won't really get into, but it's nothing really deep. It's basically just like I don't enjoy it anymore. And I've had too many shit experiences where like sound systems have failed or shit people in the crowd ruining the experience for me. And I'm like, surely the best experience is listening to it, right? But I still want to spend money to support the artist in a direct way as possible. And normally if I go to a show or a concert, I'll buy a lot of merch, I'll buy a t-shirt and a hoodie or a physical and this and whatever else, and spend like the best part of like £100 or $100 per se, supporting the artist, because in my mind, more of that money goes to the artist or recoups on the tour, whatever. But I was sat there about to buy a cassette tape. Bear in mind, I don't have a cassette player, right? But I just was like, oh, let me buy this cassette tape because it looks cool. I was like, I don't fucking need that. But it's like, I want to support them even though I'm not going to the concert, because I know at the concert I'd buy, some kind of physical merch and it'd probably be clothing. But I then jumped into the group chat and said to you lot, like, why do we buy stuff when we don't really have to in this day and age? And I know all of us individually like to spend our money on things from an artist, whether that's a concert or merch. I mean, even now, Kieran's wearing an A24 hoodie, which is like movie merch. You know what I mean? Like, we go to the cinema, all this kind of stuff, when you really, really don't have to. So yeah, I'm throwing a question out there to whoever wants to answer it first. Why do you buy things to do with art or artistry?
I've got a good answer to the live show aspect of it, for sure. It's interesting because I read this excerpt in the Rick Rubin book just a couple of days ago that really resonated, and I feel like it applies so well to this, because when we listen to music and it's just with our ears, we're only getting like just that sound wave coming in. We're getting like the experience of the music, but not the feel of it or like how it should be communicated in a way. It's just like our interpretations just happening. But when we're like live listening to instruments playing or just that whole experience, it's like hitting our whole body. Like every cell of our body gets hit by that music. We really get the experience of that song more. We're living inside of it. That's why I like listening in the car, like Sam said, it's quite a similar experience in a way. But I would say like that live show experience is something really hard to capture. And I often find that the live music, I actually prefer hearing. Like I feel like the live renditions are generally better music than the recorded tracks, but depends on the artist, and I probably wouldn't listen to that live version in a recorded format anyway. But that's my take on the live shows anyway.
What was the last thing you bought, Kieran, to do with like a music artist?
I mean, I don't know why I started feeling like maybe I should buy some CDs again. Just
I
like
have to
off
second
like
on
small
the live
acts. You know, like
shows.
when you go to one of those smaller gigs and they're selling their CDs outside, and it's like, do you know what? That was really impactful music. Let me just support them by getting this thing as well.
Okay. And sorry, Theo, Sean.
Last thing I bought, bloody hell, I can't even think. Was it something from the Kendrick concert or something? The thing is, I like to help support underground artists as well, but I don't think I have. I think it will be something from the Kendrick artist. But normally when I go to concerts anyway, I always like to try and get something, if I can get something, just to help them out, whether it's merch, CD. I used to buy CD physicals. Obviously, this is the problem where streaming comes involved and you get a bit lackadaisical, because I still like to get the CD because I still like to show the support and I still like to have that sort of locked away, even though. And that's the thing, like it's spot on to what you said. I would be buying a CD, but am I going to use that CD? But in my head, I want to kind of support the artist. I like the cover art, I like the feel of it. What I would love to do, even though again this would be silly, but I think it's cool. I'd love to get the vinyl. I'd love to do that. I'd love to collect all the vinyls and have that connection, get a turntable and have all of that. But do I need it? Especially when I've got like a family and three children to think of. That would just be like I couldn't be doing that. But in my head, I would love to do something like that, because it'll be like I'm representing all the artists and supporting them, and I'm showing my love and giving them out to them, because they provide me with the joy and the entertainment. And music's powerful because it's helped me throughout my life. So I would love it. Like, there's albums that I like absolutely dedicate, like Mac Miller's album, his second album. I always think that album's so special to me, because that's really helped me throughout life, and that's why I feel like I want to give back. So I had that CD. I want to always give back in that sort of turn. But back to the live music point as well, what Kieran was saying, that's what I love live music, because I feel once you're there, it's the feel that you get, the emotion, the feel, the vibrations that you're feeling throughout your body when you're there. Like, you just get lost in the moment, and there's no better feeling that when you're at a concert listening to live music and you feel like you're almost connecting with the artist. Yes, don't get me wrong, in the car you love it, and you can get a rough feeling of that, but when you're there live, especially when they change it up a bit as well, when they change it up and have a different rendition, or they'll put a different twist to it, there's nothing greater than that. Some of the best moments are listening to live music. So that's why I said, yeah.
Definitely. I want to say something before I kind of turned the question to Sean. Sean was one of my friends that was always buying physicals when we was younger, right? He was always going to the HMV or wherever the fuck he was going and buying physicals. And when he got to concerts, he'd buy merch, much like me. But I remember the turning point where Sean was like, fuck physicals. And I want Sean to tell this story. I want Sean to tell this story for himself, yeah. But I remember how upset he was.
Has it got anything to do with Mr. West?
Oh, I know this.
Yes. So talk to me about your experience of buying physicals, why you bought physicals over the year, then why you took a bit of a break. And
that was
I assume
so
now you're
funny,
mostly
man.
on merch.
Oh,
like,
my
you
God.
tend to buy merch online when you have no kind of want to see the artist live. You just want to buy merch online, don't you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess the physical thing came from my parents. There were always a lot of CDs in the house. My cousins from Scotland, they collected CDs like mad, and whenever I was up there, they'd pass things down to me to borrow and all sorts of things like that. So just having the physical copy was always something I liked, like reading the booklet, looking at the cover art, popping it in the Walkman back in the day, all sorts of things like that. You had to really think about, what if I was going out for the day, what album do I want to listen to, and you bring it with you. It was that experience. And then as I sort of progressed into earning money, it would become more of a regular thing. I was buying CDs on a regular basis, and then especially when I got into hip hop, it was more about, less so gigs. I mean, I probably used to go to a few a year, but it was the merch thing for me. It was like, it accompanied it. It was like repping your favorite artists and just kind of showing it off that you're a fan in public. That was my thing. 2013, summer 2013, big day. Kanye drops, Cole drops, Mac Miller drops. I don't think I had the money for all three at the time, so I chose Kanye, being the big fan that I was at that time. And we were all hyped up with the marketing campaign that he had, and just how abrasive the music was. It was Kanye in his sort of peak days. But when we went to that HMV, did I order it?
You went on your own, I think. I don't know.
I don't know.
I turned up in the evening and you had it. That's all I knew.
Yeah, because we weren't. Yeah. So when I went there to buy that CD, and I saw a clear case and no design whatsoever, just a CD in a blank case that I could fucking pick up any old shop or whatever. It pissed me off so much, man, because that experience was gone, isn't it? Like the whole, the cover art, let me read through the booklet, all this. I think when I saw you, Sam, I dashed the CD, didn't I? I think I threw it, yeah.
You threw it on the bed. I came upstairs like, yo, what's up? Like, you got the Kanye album, let me see it. He's like, look at this. He threw it at me, yeah. He threw it at me. I was like, is this it? He's like, yeah, it's just a fucking sticker. Like, it's just a red or orange sticker.
That red sticker
doesn't look. He's like, it doesn't look cool at all.
But Kieran, you're right. It looked sick because it had Yeezus written on it, right? This didn't have that. This was just like someone went to flipping Ryman's or something, put a red sticker on it.
No.
It was terrible. That was the
Yeah.
that was the first time where I was like, what
Did
am I
you
doing
did
here?
you open it? Because I don't remember if you'd opened it yet.
Yeah. I think. Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I can't remember fully, but
I just
I
remember
think I
how
probably
upset
did
you
because I
was.
would have popped it in the CD player, but and then like put it on iTunes and put it on the classic and all that. But
Yeah.
I mean, in fairness, I still went on for the next 6-7 years to buy physicals. I think the turning point for me was similar to Theo, but to a lesser extent. Was just life and priorities. I think it got to a point where it was like, I want to settle down, get a house, get married. It's about trying to like prioritize finances and whatnot. And certainly with gigs and definitely with buying physicals, I don't do that anymore. Every now and then I'll go to a gig, but I definitely don't buy physical. And I think it was summer 2020 where I finally joined Spotify Premium. Up until that, it was still iPod Classic all the way and using up the bit of time you would get, or the ad-free time or whatever it was on Spotify if you weren't a member. And yeah, that's what I've been doing since then. But very recently, I was back home and I saw my CD collection. I was like, I miss this. I don't know. Like having a collection. There's something about it. And to answer like your original question, like why do people still buy stuff in this time where it's so easy and affordable to just either subscribe to streaming services or find shit online? I think it just comes with fandom, innit? It's just collecting tangible things that you can, I don't know, show off to your friends or like share with people that are also into the art that you love. But I also think that this whole thing around, I know it's different now with streaming and with the internet and how things have progressed. But if you think about it, like 15, 20 years ago, it was the LimeWire days. And before that, it was bootlegging CDs. People have always found ways of getting around paying for shit. But now it's just so much easier. But the sad thing is I think we're losing that, though, that tangible, collectible
I've always
aspect.
bought music. I've always bought music. Like for my birthday and Christmas, when I was like probably about 10, maybe 11, till I was about 16, 17, I used to get iTunes vouchers, hundreds and hundreds of pounds of iTunes vouchers. And literally back then I would go onto different genres and like do like the editor's pick of the week and buy that and just listen to random music all the time. And I'm spending like £5, £6, £9 a time just to listen to new music. When obviously back in them days, it's like Mixtape Madness. Was it Mixtape Madness? All the mixtape websites were hot and popping back then. So you could listen to music legit for free, but then the actual kind of like bigger artists you had to either pay for or like do the LimeWire stuff. But I've been paying for music. Like I paid for music for a long, long part of my childhood because I really appreciated the fact that it came with the artwork. It came with all the kind of featured artists and all that metadata filled in. I used to sit there and fucking read it. It used to come with a digital booklet as well. So I was like, oh, it's the same experience, but just in the computer. And then I got really paranoid when I realized that my iTunes library was, tens of thousands of songs long. And one day my computer could die and all this music's just gone. I was like, yeah, I could re-download it off iTunes, but how long is that going to take? Slow internet back then, whatever. It used to take like 2 hours to download an album back then. And it was then when I started realizing that I needed to back it up. So then I started buying hard drives to back it up and all this kind of stuff. And this was around, let's say, 2012, 2013.
This is when you started shotting the music to us as well.
That's when I started pimping the music out to you lot. Yeah, I was a reseller, man. Not even reseller. I was spreading the
joking,
Lord's good word. But
for real.
Yeah, genuinely, I think from 2012 until today, I've been paying for Spotify. And back in the days of Spotify, you could upload your music to Spotify and listen to it in Spotify. It was weird. Like you could sync your iTunes library and still listen to it. And they took that feature away. I don't know when or what happened there. But I've always been paying to listen to music, and I've never viewed it as an expense. It's more so like it's like when people pay for telly. Because I don't watch television, I don't feel that same cost of having cable or Sky or all that. It's like I go to the cinema. I know that costs a lot now, but back then it used to be quite cheap, and I pay for music. Like I've always had this thing in my mind. It's like to experience things in the way they were meant to be experienced, you have to pay for them. But yeah, I don't know. Nowadays, I'm finding that more and more so, YouTube in particular, every song, even songs that have been deleted, are there for free. Obviously if you're willing to listen to an ad or two, but it's like, I don't know how you lot feel about paying for music now. Like, I think we all have Spotify Premium. That's just because we like to create music and listen to a lot of music without the shit in between.
You know, there's a part of me as well. I used to be like quite an audiophile. Like I used to download. Like I don't even know what the highest quality was, like the lossless one, basically.
Oh,
because I was like, I'm trying to listen like top, and I do sometimes think like when I'm listening on Spotify, especially maybe when my data's low or something and it's streaming, like that it's like compressing it and the music just doesn't sound good. I don't know if my ears are like dulling or like the music's actually like worse quality. So
no, I've heard Spotify's not as good as Apple apparently.
Yeah, I think
You know what blows my mind?
Apple has lossless, doesn't it? I think
Apple Dolby Sound. Yeah, I had for a time I had Apple Music and Spotify because there was a point where some songs weren't on certain things, but the fucking Dolby Sound, crazy.
No, I've heard that as well. I've heard
normally when you listen to a song in stereo, obviously you got left and right, but with the Dolby Sound, it's like I could feel the music. Like listen to Tame Impala in Dolby Sound was one of the best experiences ever because it's like the music was around me. It's like you don't really get that experience in the cinema. You don't get that experience in a concert because there's other people around you. But this noise cancelling headphones with this kind of mixing, and it's not no gimmick. It's like it's crazy. It's trippy as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Does it support the 360 soundscape as well? Because obviously you can get that with the headphones. I've yet to try that.
You can turn it on and you can walk through the music.
Yeah.
Like if you like squat down, you'll hear the bass more. If you stand up, like you'll hear the vocals.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's weird. That's making me want to get Apple Music again.
Well,
but sorry, you were saying.
I've been considering that, moving over to it.
Yeah, likewise.
Start fresh in it.
I had Apple Music when I had an iPhone. That was the thing. Like, it was back when did Views come out?
Oh, everyone had Apple
Views
Music for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I had Apple Music because obviously that was when it. Yeah. Because it only came out on Apple Music. Am I right by saying that?
Initially,
I had Tidal as well because of Kanye and Jay-Z. Like I had Tidal, Apple Music, Spotify, and I was like paying the best part of like.
Trust
that was the second time Kanye pissed me off. Now it's every week.
Yeah.
But yeah, Apple Music was good though. Yeah, Apple Music was good. I might have to go back myself because obviously I've been with Spotify now for the last 5-6 years. But I was with Apple Music initially.
Apple Music has a long way to go because it hasn't got the Wrapped. The Wrapped is the best thing about Spotify.
Oh, I know the Wrapped.
Do you know
is
Spotify
amazing.
though? I feel like it's all it's very superficial, isn't it? Like they don't have high quality music. It's kind of just locked us in. I don't know. It doesn't even pay artists.
Yeah. Well, there's
that's
another
what
reason
we're
why. But before we move on to that, and Kieran, hopefully you can, because that was the next conversation is very much something you brought to us, and I think it's an important one. But just something else I wanted to say about the whole physicals thing is, oh god, it's lost me. What the fuck? It's gone. Shit, this keeps happening. This has happened like 4 times today.
For this. We have a button for this.
Go for it. Edit the fuck out of that. Go.
Man, I felt you had a good point as well.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, go on, Kieran. Talk to us about your kind of rabbit hole you've been down with James Blake and artists getting paid correctly, because you said just now, like, Spotify barely even pays people. And like, to be honest, as a consumer, I couldn't give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? Like, I get to hear this music. Do you know what I mean?
Wow. Wow. And it's like, just talking about the whole concept of it all, because it's like this battle that everyone's got for streams, and it's like they're not even getting paid that much for it. I'll try and get the figures in a second, but
I think it's a million streams is about $4,000, which isn't that much.
Yeah, and then
That's
considering
crazy.
the $4,000, I think 50% goes to the label itself, not like the artists or the people that made the song. And then you have to split all of that royalties and like the cost of actually making the song, which will sometimes cost thousands as well to make. So there's a lot of like costs and factors to consider, like why is like this is the part of the conversation, like why is the music industry so heavily focused on streams? Like they're not even real sales when you really think about it. There was I think the industry had for a long time a strong resistance to having streams as part of the charts, because it isn't actually real when you really think about it.
It's 1,000 streams to one sale, but it's like I don't listen to a song 1,000 times.
I can do that if I just loop my song for a week on Spotify, or like even a few days. Like there's so many ways to boost it. There's bots doing it, all of that kind of stuff. And I think part of there's like these new Spotify laws. Part of that is actually like cutting down. I think there's like this this play wall or something like that. Like you have to get past a certain amount of plays to get paid for this. It's actually crazy when you think about like how they're trying to make it
Spotify's
harder.
in a weird place though, because they say they're not making much money. A lot of the money's going back.
They're not.
To the
They're
artists.
broke, man. They're so in debt, you know.
But
They've never been
I think
in
it's because
profit.
they're paying for the rights to the music, to the labels, and it's like realistically, if Spotify was just about I make my music, I upload it myself, much like a SoundCloud or a Bandcamp, and every stream I get is worth a penny. Suddenly, the economy becomes a bit better for an artist, right? Because that $9.99 a month that I'm spending, it's not being equally split between the artists I've listened to that month. It's like $9.99 goes to Spotify, then the streams add up, and then they pay whoever they want to pay. It's like realistically, surely about half of my membership price should be equally distributed between all the artists I've listened to. So if I listen to one artist all month, they're getting that whole fiver, or you know what I mean, that whole £5. But it's not like that, and I don't know why it can't be like that. But surely that's the way to keep the music industry alive.
That makes so
and
much
let people
sense,
live.
though. Yeah, exactly. Because it's like buying music essentially, then, because you're just putting it towards who you want to listen to. Like, why am I giving money to like random artists I don't ever listen to or care about?
Yeah.
The only two major streaming services that I'm really familiar with are Spotify and Apple. Is the situation the same with Apple or very similar, or are Spotify like glaringly, I guess,
Apple pays more.
robbing
Apple pays more. Tidal pays you more of a percentage per. It's like less the amount of streams to get to $1 is the maths that they do, and it's like Spotify is the lowest. Spotify is in like the 0.00001.
I thought so.
Like there's a lot of zeros before that.
Right, I
And
thought
that's
so.
what
But are
people
the
care
others
about,
still
you
not?
know?
Are they not much better though? Like Apple and Tidal, is it kind of? Is it
They're
a
a lot
general
better.
thing?
They're a lot
better.
Spotify's the
Right.
worst.
I think
Spotify's the biggest
Tidal
and the worst.
launched though. Didn't Tidal launch saying like they're paying artists good and it's like quite an independent type operation?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if
there's
it
always that.
changed.
The service that pays the best is Bandcamp. All the money goes straight to the artist.
Oh yeah.
But like
'cause-
drawing this in, I feel like. Oh, sorry. What were you gonna say, Sean?
No, go for it.
I feel like it's feeling like two separate conversations, but I felt like this conversation is relevant to like why do we buy? Because it's like, why are we buying to support? And like, if that's the case, like, is it supportive to stream artists' music? Like, does it even matter? Have we got like the wrong end of the stick with what's even important as well? I feel like everyone's so hyper fixated on being the highest monthly listeners. Like, it's insane when you think about it. And the other one is like trying to get like past that 1 billion mark on your streams. But
Yeah. I've got the numbers here if you want to hear the numbers
go
for
for
who
it,
pays the most, who pays the least, if you want to hear that.
Yeah.
Spit those
So
facts.
Tidal's number one, and they pay 0.01284 cents. So it's just about a cent
That's
per
mad.
stream. And then Apple Music is 0.008. So like, oh God, like an eighth of a penny per stream. Amazon Music is 0.00402. So like a quarter of a penny per stream. And Spotify is 0.00318. So, God, whatever that is, you know what I mean? Like a third of a penny, or maybe even less than that.
A cent,
YouTube Music is the least, 0.002. And then there's stuff like Pandora and Deezer, which is like no one really pays for those, so them paying is coming out of their own. But the five that I see here that people actually pay for, or you have to pay for to use Tidal, Apple Music, Amazon, Spotify, and YouTube. Tidal's top, Apple Music is second. And the thing is that we're not really realizing here is Apple Music is like a side product to Apple, whereas this is Spotify's whole thing. And if Spotify's not paying people right, but Apple's able to, eventually, if we get enough of a social movement behind it, people might just all go to Apple Music because it's on every device, isn't it? It's on Android, it's on whatever.
Yeah. Well, this is what I remembered what I was gonna say now as well, is that something that I've been thinking about recently is one thing is what I miss about physical is the fact that for me anyway, I'd maybe buy a couple CDs a month, maybe a bit more depending on if it was a busy month, and I felt like I lived with those albums, whereas now I'm barely living with anything. And I guess one of the reasons why I moved over to streaming, along with the financial side of things, was just the ease of it and just kind of falling victim to the system, I guess. And now, since bringing up this conversation and talking about this now as well, is making me think, okay, maybe I'm not in a position to go back to physical, but I've lost sight of what's important, and what's important really is artists getting what they deserve. And if I can get closer to that, then maybe it's time to leave Spotify and move over. But Spotify is just so user friendly and familiar. That's the thing.
Yeah,
They've like
exactly.
reeled us in and got us used to their way of doing things. But I think
It's because it's Facebook, though, isn't it? Facebook have clocked it all. The way we use WhatsApp these days is just mad.
Well, the thing I want to add to this as well is, though, we don't own the music we're listening to, right? One day Spotify could go out of business, whatever, and all the music that you know and love, you will forget because you don't have any way to kind of archive what you've listened to or anything like that. It's all just there in Spotify. And, you know, same way we've seen artists take music off of Spotify, it's gone.
Yeah.
Can't listen to it no more. And you're a bit like, oh, well, I thought I had, you know, the right to listen to it. And the artist is like, nah, fuck you, it's gone. And it's like, damn, that's something that really hits me about not buying like physicals or like having the download there. It's like, I don't own this. I'm just accessing it all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like at any given point, someone can take this away from me and I could have really enjoyed this music. Do you know what I mean? It's really kind of something that's been bugging me the last few weeks.
This is are we too far gone? I know this isn't really something we were actually considering, but I'm wondering because like the Luminary album, for example, that what one was it again? The Black Star one. That was an interesting experience for me. I'm not gonna lie, because I had to go out of my way to listen to it, and I did do it sometimes. I think I did it like every other month that year, or maybe less. I'm sure I took a 6-month period at one point, but it was pulling me back to that old way. But maybe because I'm used to that, I feel like some people have never been outside of streaming service and listen to song, or even outside of like TikTok or Instagram Reels and listen to music. There's that level as well now to consider, and it's hard, isn't it? Like how we can't. I don't know if we can transition back. Like someone like the example we got was Ye and his Vultures too, trying to make us buy it, and it's like, are we actually going to listen to it though? Like I just don't know.
It's all about the playlist now, isn't it? Obviously, way back when it was about the mixtape or the mix CD, whatever. But it's like everyone in here and everyone listening to this obviously has their like daily playlist or their, you know, little playlist they have for this reason, that reason, whatever else. But genuinely, if you can't put the music into your daily routine, you don't always want to sit down and have to, you know, chew through a whole album. Like some albums are really, really hard to listen to all the way through, but you might just want to hear one song and then another song and this and that. And I've found recently that the thing I'm struggling with is the shortness of songs. Like before, interludes used to be like a minute or two or under 3 minutes, but it's like now the full banger, I'm like, whoa, this is good. By the time I'm like into the song, it's done, I'm like, oh fuck, like, or the first minute's banging and then the rest of it's shit. And it's like, well, when I was hearing it on TikTok or online, this sounded like the song of the moment, but then like the last 2-3 minutes of the song or the rest of the song is trash. And it's like all the songs are like front loaded to be good now, and I'm not sure whether or not the music's worth buying. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of what's coming out, is it worth buying? Like for me,
No, I feel that.
Yeah, go on, dear.
Yeah, no, it's true, because honestly, you're right, because I've come across way too many albums these days where they're either front loaded or they're loaded right at the end, and then in the middle you get some bullshit, and it really is like that, to the point where is obviously if you were buying before, you wouldn't have that problem, because like you buy the album, you sit with it, but because we've got that ease of access now, literally I could be listening through an album 4 tracks in and just thinking, you know what, I'll switch off. And you know what, actually, this is a good topic to pick on. I was doing that with Justin Timberlake's album today, and it was the first time. Normally what I do is when I don't like the feel of an album for 4 songs in, I normally switch on to a different album, and I said to myself, you know what, hold up, I'm not going to do that. I was quite glad I didn't do that, because I actually like his album, but I didn't really like the start of it. But it just goes to show how, like, when you're on these streaming services, how you can literally just pick songs here, get bored, move on to another album, move on to this and that. It's also changed the way that we sort of listen to music. I remember being brought up just listening to the albums all the way through and then making a judgment, whereas now sometimes I could just go through the first few songs and thinking, nah, I don't want that, man. Let me move on to another one.
Disrespectful,
oh no, it's awful. So I was quite happy that I didn't do that this time, but that's where we are.
And I feel that the younger generation, like, does it deserve respect sometimes? Yeah. Like the kind of music that people are putting together, the kind of album, like these albums that are playlists that they're just trying to get as much streams as possible on one project. Like, it's
Well,
like, does it even deserve our attention anymore?
The thing is, any physical you used to buy back in the day, even if it was one of those like DJ compilation things or like Now 86, you get the booklet with all the like, you know, the people that have played on the song, whatever, or the lyrics. There was some reason to buy the physical. And I remember once, I don't remember what CD it was, but I definitely threw it away when I was moving. It just had like one single sheet of paper that was just the cover art with nothing on it. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Do you know what I mean? Where's the booklet? Because I remember like you would listen to the album and read the booklet, look at the artwork in the booklet and all that kind of stuff. But when I got that, I was like, I don't need physicals anymore, man. Like, I remember I bought the Goblin album and it like folded open and had stickers in it, and you know the CD had cool artwork on it, and the fucking insert lay had a good like little bit of story to it. But now I think if you went out and bought a CD, it's generally just a physical manifestation of the music. There's nothing else to it. You're not getting any kind of like rosiness to it. It's not even signed or anything to make it worthwhile buying. You know what I mean? Like,
vinyls are getting back in like fashion because of that, because the physical of like the CD is just not doing it anymore.
Well, the
because
vinyl,
what
people always
are
do
doing with
special
vinyls
artwork
now,
for it as well. People always try to make a big deal out
yes,
of vinyl.
it's true.
But
That's why it's different, because people now start hanging the vinyls on the wall now as a result of it to try and like
piece,
decorate.
isn't it?
Yeah.
I was going to say, did you get, I sort of got the impression that was more for a show thing for some people rather than like actually like sitting down and playing the fuck out of it like our parents' generation used to.
I owned one vinyl. I owned one vinyl when it was signed by the artist and given to me after a concert. And that's because I went up to him and I was like, I think you're really amazing. Like, I didn't want to come to this concert, but I did. And he's like, oh, thank you, man. Signed a vinyl and gave it to me. I was like, oh, how much is this? He's like, it's free. It's for you. And I was like, oh, sick. But like past that, I have a vinyl player, but that's because of producing. I've been like ripping like all my mums and dads and grandma's vinyls to sample them way back when. But like, I don't get the vinyl hype. I think they're too cluttery and too bulky. Like, inside my phone, I have tens of thousands of songs. If I try to have tens of thousands of vinyls, I need a whole fucking room for that thing. Do you know what I mean? I can't warrant
like
having
Jay
that
Dilla.
much clutter. Yeah, I can't warrant having that much clutter. But I think a good artist and a smart artist, much like the reason why I wanted to have this conversation, will give you different formats to experience the music in. So yeah, you can get a digital download, and with that digital download, you get some other thing, you know, some access to a music video or whatever that doesn't exist online. You can get a cassette tape which has got different artwork. You can get a vinyl that's got different artwork. You can get a CD that's actually got a fucking booklet in it. But if you don't bother, no one's gonna buy it. Do you know what I mean? Like, people buy merch because it's cool. Like, I've seen a lot of merch at concerts, which is just the album artwork on a t-shirt, and it's like, that's fucking lazy. That's fucking terrible.
Yeah. But this is the thing, is like the industry is going to respond to the market, and right now the vast majority of people are more than content with their streaming services, isn't it? So like, it's like there's no value in, or it's not economically viable to be, you know, producing this amount of CDs or cassettes or vinyls for people. So this is what we're getting in response. But I'm just sitting there thinking, again, having this conversation is like, realistically, am I going to go away now and move streaming services? Not anytime soon, probably, but I am genuinely thinking about switching over to a more ethical platform. But I'm also sitting there thinking, do you know what? Like, at this point, really and truthfully, how many albums are in rotation for me on a monthly basis? One or two?
At least,
I might as well buy
I was going to
CDs.
say, for me, at least 10. Because I'm listening to lots of different genres and stuff like that.
But I mean, like new bodies of works, you mean? Like brand new releases,
new music
is what I mean.
New music, no, but lots of individual songs. And if you remember back in the day, a single, buying a single was like £3, maybe £2-3. If I had to pay that every time I listen to a new single, I'd be going broke very fast.
But I guess what I mean is like, so if I break it down now, we're coming to the end of March. January for me was Boldy and was Kaliuchi, right? Those two albums. February was Brittany Howard and Gets, probably, and then this month has been Blue Lips and I know it's just dropped, but I'm thinking maybe the Sir album might be something that gets replay for me. That's two albums a month. That's like, I don't know how much a CD is now, but let's just say it's like,
I think it's about £12, something like that.
£12, yeah. So, okay, that's a little bit more than the, I don't know, what is it, $17-18.99 I pay for Spotify, but I feel
Why are you
like I
paying so
used
much
to
for
have
Spotify?
I
No,
don't know.
yeah, are you doing the family? Because that's what I'm.
Yeah, it must be
why?
the-
Yeah, why are you paying that
It
much?
must be the-
I'm paying
Because
12.
I'm paying. Because I'm paying
ripped.
that. No, you're not wrong. Because I'm paying that for Spotify, but that's because I'm paying for Harriet as well.
Yeah, I pay for my
There's the
parents.
family
Yeah, my
version.
mum's on it.
Oh,
but,
okay,
Yeah,
you got
that
family.
makes sense.
I got
Yeah,
a
that makes
duo,
sense.
duo
Yeah,
account,
yeah.
which is two
I guess
people.
what I'm
It's
saying
12
is
man.
like
Yeah,
I
go on,
feel
sorry.
like I had a better experience with music when I used to buy physicals than I have done for the last 4 years. Like I I'm trying to think. The last Sam, you were talking about like
Jesus.
a very
Sorry,
sort of physical
can I just put this in
experience.
there? Taylor Swift is selling a vinyl, yeah, for £44. £44.
No,
That's how
vinyls
much
are not
vinyls
going that
cost.
much
Yeah,
though.
I thought
That's
the
how much
price.
vinyls are. Vinyls are that much.
Really?
They're around 40 to
Yeah.
50 pounds.
It's
Yeah,
expensive.
No wonder they're
If-
churning them out
yeah,
like that.
they're
Sorry,
well
Sean, carry on.
expensive.
I'm just in
No,
shock
no,
at
it's
this.
fine.
Go on.
Because I want to say something to that as well. But I guess what I was saying is like I remember the last time I went out to buy a CD. I remember because let's face it, the whole of last decade I was ordering CDs, whether it be on Amazon or directly from the website of the artist, whatever. But I remember the last time I went out to get a CD was JME's last album, right?
I remember that.
And
I
I
remember
had to
talking about
order it
that.
to the store. So I went there and I picked it up, but I couldn't listen to it until I got home. And I remember getting the bus and I sat there and because I had nothing else to do, I sat there and I read through the booklet and, I looked at the cover art and all this. And it kind of, I don't know, it was an anticipation for when I finally got home and I put it on my iTunes and bang, I listened to it. I missed that. So now I'm thinking to myself, maybe I could go back to physical, buy 2 or 3 a month, and that'll be me. And then maybe like you say, it's so easy to listen to music now online without paying anything. You can maybe check what's going on, check the odd song, and think, okay, maybe I'll buy the full project. But will I do that? I don't know. Probably not. But
I don't think
there's
it's worth it.
There's
I
something
think if you
missing.
buy full projects now, you're getting scammed. I'll be honest. No one's making albums worth buying anymore, apart from Tame Impala and a few other bands. It's never worth it. I can't think of any album in the last year or two that I would have happily have bought other than Little Sims's album. Like that's it. Not the last one, the one
What
before.
about Billy Woods?
No.
Maths.
Sampha?
I would not be happy. Wouldn't be happy buying. No, I wouldn't be happy buying it.
Really?
I wouldn't. When I used to buy albums, I loved every fucking song. Do you know what I mean? I don't love every fucking song.
I do get what you're saying in that.
Yeah, I
it's
know
that
what you mean by
attachment
that.
to every song on that album.
I'm
we
not
are
saying
lucky
music
Would you
get
get
worse.
that again? But Sam, would you get that again if you say you today you went, right, fuck it. Every streaming service gone. I'm just going to go back to physical. Would you then get that feeling back? Do you think?
Nah,
No?
do you know what? I'd probably listen to less music. I'd listen to less music and probably spend more time reading, to be honest. I'd buy a whole bunch of like classic albums that I really like that I probably already have somewhere, like old music. I'll just read a lot more. I wouldn't care about listening to new music. I'd hit where our parents have hit, where the reason why they don't have streaming is because they don't listen to new music. Like my mum just buys new songs all the time, and she might buy like 4 or 5 songs a month that she's heard on a TV show. So she's spending like £5-6 a month on new songs, but her playlist is always bumping and hitting how she wants it to hit because she's got all the music she already wanted that she's, copied onto her phone however many years ago. So it's like, I think the problem is our generation wants to listen to new music, but the generation of people that used to listen to the radio and only listen to the radio now pay for streaming and just listen to like the top 100 playlist or, all that kind of shit. But it's like people like us, like people that really enjoy music, it's become arguably not worth it and a little bit too expensive to buy all the new music. Like I'm looking at new releases online of what albums are coming out, and honestly, it's just re-releases of old albums on vinyl. It seems to be the only physical thing you can buy. Like I'm seeing Bruno Mars's Doo Wops and the Hooligans. How old is that fucking album? They're releasing a vinyl for it next month. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make any sense to even try to get involved. It's like, okay, Cleo Soul's got an album, vinyl coming out, but it's all vinyl. There's no, the CD's £20 nearly, and apparently there's nothing in it.
£20, damn.
But this is what I wanted to come on to though,
Jesus.
is that I think that, and we've touched upon this briefly at times in the past, but there seems to be this thing where in other art forms it's okay to ask for, like for instance, if you see a painting on a wall and it's like a few £100, even a few grand, we don't really bat an eyelid. But when it comes to music, it's like if it's anything over what we are used to paying, it's like, they're mugging us off. But like for instance, I liked that Nipsey Hussle used to sell his mixtapes for like $100 or a couple $100.
Yeah.
I like that Matt Comey you know, I don't know if you've seen what his website's like and how much he's selling his stuff for, because he is putting a hell of a lot of time and effort into these bodies of work. And it's like, this is my canvas. If you really want it, if you want to support me, then pay. This is why I never had a problem with the idea, the concept of the STEM player, and why I don't mind so much what for instance, what the likes of James Blake are saying at the moment, because no one else but you can put a price on your own art, right? And if your fans are willing to pay for it, then what's the issue? But I guess the question I wanted to ask is, like, based on what you were just saying there, Sam, about like, no, you wouldn't, you wouldn't buy physical. Is it seems like maybe, I don't know if you'll all agree with this, it's like we're conditioned now differently, and there's kind of no going back. So what is the answer to this? Is for me, the only answer is artists getting paid better.
I think the answer is, if you're gonna have the confidence in yourself to sell music and put it out there, you've got to get a bit savvy. And I think the way that a lot of artists nowadays can make a physical worth buying is, okay, you buy this physical for like £30. If you bring it to the concert, that's your ticket. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm selling only 1,000 CDs. I'm doing a tour. Do you know what I mean? You can use this to get in for cheap. I don't know, man. Like, you got to put it in with something else. A CD of itself is not enough, I don't think, Sean. And paying artists more isn't really fair, because Spotify is a business, and we as consumers want to listen to the music on there for as cheap as possible, and blah blah blah, and they want to do whatever the fuck they're doing. But it's like, realistically, I feel like Spotify is wasting a lot of our money on some of the shit they've been up to nowadays, like the music moods, and what was that stuff that you were clicking on that ruined your whole Spotify, Sean?
Oh, is it that psychic thing?
What was that?
Fucked it up, man.
That's what I'm saying.
I never
strange.
even got that.
I think Spotify should pay people more, right? But I think the problem is right now is the back catalogs of music for artists that are either dead or just not really active is where a lot of their main pool of money goes, is to paying artists or labels, to have access to that. If we only just had people that are directly uploading their music, whatever, that would just be SoundCloud all over again. And SoundCloud failed for a bunch of reasons, but the main reason SoundCloud failed is no one wanted to pay for SoundCloud, because all the music on there was viewed as less than. Do you know what I mean? It was a certain type of genre, a certain type of person. If you made it onto streaming, then you were serious. And it's like, the way things have changed, it would be like asking people to go back to listen to the radio. It's like, the radio doesn't play music that I want to hear, so why would I go to the radio? And it's the same idea of, I don't want to go back to buying physicals, because I don't want to hear the whole album. Like, I need to hear the whole album to know what songs I like, but I don't want to hear the whole album from top to bottom all the time.
I do think that all of this hyper consumption is like, because we're addicted to the stimulation of such a variety of music that we didn't actually used to get when growing up. And even like just people from the past in general, so it would have been even less than what we were getting growing up. And I feel like this addiction to the hyperstimulation, it makes us feel good. It's like probably hitting our serotonin every time we hear a new song that's like, oh, it reminds you of that, but it's like a bit different, so it's cool. But like, we don't actually need those dopamine or serotonin triggers. Like, we're kind of like, almost like we're chasing something when we're listening to so much music, because we don't actually need to listen to that much. And having something like just one album or two albums you listen to per month, like Sean was saying, is actually, it shouldn't actually sound that crazy. Like, I feel like it's actually quite a normal thing to do, because we've lost, with the hyper consumption, we've lost the appreciation of the music we listen to. Like, we're sitting here, we talk about the music, and we do our reviews. We kind of don't do them anymore, but like, we do appreciate the projects. But I do definitely feel like I'm not appreciating the projects the way I used to appreciate them, for sure. Like, I'm approaching it from that academic level. I'm approaching it from that feelings kind of level, but I'm just having a chat about them. I don't know if I'm genuinely like experiencing a lot of the albums that we talk about, or like living with them, like you said at the start as well. And definitely that appreciation's gone. Like, I can appreciate that Billy Wood's Maps album's amazing. I can't remember the last time I listened to it though. I'm not gonna lie. And it only came out like really and truly like a few months ago. Like, it was like, what was it, like 9 months ago or something? So
9-10 months, yeah.
That's crazy. Like, that it's just, so it was like my memory has just moved on, and it's that all that appreciation, like, it's not even a significant part of like my experience in life anymore.
Yeah.
I think
It's
I
true,
think
because I don't think we sit with albums. I don't think we stick with albums a lot.
Well, the
I
world
think
we
we
live in
like
is all
listen
about
to an
access,
album,
isn't
play
it?
it for 2-3 weeks. Yeah,
It's about
yeah.
access. So
It's true.
people want to be able to
It
access
is.
things, but they don't want to be able to appreciate them. Whereas there are a small group of people that do appreciate things. But it's like, for example, any film that's ever come out, ever, give or take a few, you can go online somewhere and watch it. But there are a select group of people that will go out and buy the Blu-ray or watch it on Netflix or look for it on the right streaming service because they know that when they go there, the quality is going to be on point, the sound's going to be on point, there's extra features. And I think that's something that, again, I know this is talking about films per se, but it's like I remember getting the DVD for a film was exciting because you got the special features and the behind the scenes stuff. But it's like now, before I've seen some films, I've seen that stuff because it comes up on socials or it's on YouTube. And it's like there's no real draw for me to go buy something or access something special anymore. And I wonder with music, where do we get to make people appreciate music more, or where do people have the most kind of willingness to spend money on music outside of streaming that goes more into the artist's pocket?
Difficult question. What's James Blake proposing, Kieran?
So his solution, basically, he had that run on Twitter, and it's strange because it kind of like was working in tandem with the Spotify laws changing. Like some are good, some are bad. Like I think they've got a minimum pay floor now as well. But it kind of like it made this whole like went viral basically, and then this app contacted him. I actually can't remember the name of the app, which is so shitty. But he's got you can find it easily if you go on his page. Yeah. But they basically create a profile for artists, and on that, people can subscribe to that artist. So okay, let's just say James Blake's profile is there when we go on the website. And it's a website, by the way. It's not an app, which I found kind of strange and inaccessible. But just coming back to the idea.
Sounded a bit like OnlyFans. I can't.
It genuinely, it's actually got the model of OnlyFans. You subscribe to the artist, and they can upload whatever they want to that for you to listen to. It can be works in progress. Like he could just make a beat on that day and just upload it. So it cuts out the label. It cuts out all the middlemen you can imagine, just for the artist to interact with the fans that they've got, and for the fans to give their money directly in their pocket as well, and that you can like comment on the stuff he posts, and he can like reply to it. So there's a whole like give and take with the artist and the fan too. So it's basically what it is actually the shift that the industry is making, because they thought it would be a shifting towards vinyls as like the way that artists can make money, and it is a good way. But like it's super fans that buy that. But what's a more accessible way of doing vinyls for super fans? But it's not like that clunky thing, and it's actually a bit more affordable. And it's actually this like just make a super fan have a streaming subscription to them basically.
But,
really good
but
idea.
You know what's funny? The attempts that artists have made to make more money from the music, we ourselves have hated it. Do you remember what Earl's album was moving like, and how much we hate that experience because it was poorly done. Yeah. So it's like we ourselves have tried to support an artist in the way we wanted to, but because of the experience, we didn't use it. Do you know what I mean? Then when it came out on Spotify, we're like, oh, thank God, it's finally on fucking Spotify. So I don't know.
This is the thing though, Sam, like that Luminary's done it, the Earl one's done it, but I feel like this is an interesting one because they're trying to create a hub so that more people do it, and I feel like this James Blake one's got good traction just from himself. He's like he went viral, so it's like it's bigger than just Earl doing it or like Black Star doing it. I feel like maybe if more big, I feel like it just needs 2 more massive names really, and then it's like wow, this is like a thing that you can actually do. Just to give artists money because you like. If
you look at Beyonce, Taylor Swift, the price of their concert tickets is through the roof, but the show is also through the roof. So they're making money on that. Do you know what I mean? And those people are, when they're there, they're buying merch bundles, not like just coming, oh, should I get a t-shirt? They're buying the t-shirt, the hat, the shoes, the this, the that, all $200 worth of shit. Do you know what I mean? They're buying. Huh?
They are. I can concur that because Harry saw that. Yeah,
but people are paying money
Beyonce
to these artists.
And they are.
But it's like, how do you get the smaller artists? Obviously, we're not saying everyone needs to get to Beyonce, Taylor Swift levels of fame, but like, how do you get people to want to spend, £20 over, a group of people? Say you get 1,000 people in a venue for £20. That's £20,000. You know, obviously you pay the venue. Let's say you pay them £5,000, whatever. 15 grand for one night's thing. How can you get people to that point? And I think the problem is right now, because you can't have a localized fan base, it's hard to get people to spend money to come out to see you. Like a lot of artists that I know, they can do a tour all across Europe. If they try to do a show in London, it's hard. But it's because they've got fans in, Croatia. They've got fans out in Germany, and those people like it more because they're like, "Oh, you're from London. That's so cool." And then they share music amongst each other. But I think genuinely the problems we're facing is actually more so a UK and US problem, because like French artists don't have the same issue because French radio only plays French music. So French people only listen to French artists, French rappers, all that kind of stuff. And they pay to see them, they pay to buy merch. I think it's a UK and a US problem because of how we're kind of conditioned right now into like, tech products of experiencing music as opposed to liking an artist.
Mm-mm-mm. I guess I'm thinking now about like, the purpose of this conversation and what do we do as fans going forward. And I guess my thinking is, like anything really, is just it's somewhere in between. It's finding a balance, and I think that there are many pros to the way things are now, particularly with streaming services, like the ability to how easy it is to find new artists and listen to an array of genres. I think curating playlists, sharing playlists with each other is great fun, and I wouldn't want to lose that, I guess. But I think maybe the balance is finding a platform or a service that is more ethical and that does support artists better. And I think that's what maybe I'm going to try and make an effort to look into now, is doing that, because there's many things about the way things are now that are great, and sometimes you just got to get with the times. But yeah, there's definitely people getting fucked over, and there's probably ways of supporting these artists that we love better. So that's going to be my thing, is finding that balance.
You're gonna boycott the streamers.
Yeah, I put that on the document, didn't I? Should we boycott them? I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling that radical now. I think, like I said, there's good things. There's good things about it, but there's also a lot of fuckery going on. So I don't know about maybe boycott Spotify by the sounds of things. I didn't realize it was that bad. Jesus.
I don't think I can. I think I've had enough of the poison now, where I might as well just keep taking it. You know what I mean? Like, it's keeping me alive type thing.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about, man. It's the addiction.
Yeah. What about you, Theo? How are you gonna?
There ain't no water of life, though, is it?
I was going to say you survived the water.
Find something else.
But yeah, no,
Jeez,
Theo. What
man.
do you think? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna boycott the streamers? Are you gonna try? You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's tough because I don't like what Spotify is doing. It sounds like fuckeries, but like you said, I can still see myself like still feeding masses of Spotify, but sticking with Spotify, unless I do just take the plunge and move on to Apple Music or start buying physicals. But realistically, and I'm trying to be realistic, it's convenient, isn't it? And it works.
Yeah.
I can't see myself like buying physicals every 2 months. I would, like I said, I would like to, but practically it doesn't work like that. Whereas streaming's just so easy, where I can just go through tracks and stuff. It will be like a big change, and change is not always. I don't mind change, but change takes time and commitment to go through. And with how life is and hectic and how things go on, I just think it's convenient. But then that's where we have to kind of change our way of thinking. If you want to sort of do the right thing, then you have to kind of put that commitment in. But I don't know, we'll be able to watch this space.
Yeah.
Do you know what
Kieran,
as well, though, is like?
Go on.
Sorry, I was just going to say that some of, but not all of the responsibility is on us, and I think that there are some powerful people within the industry that could not force but inspire change that aren't. So yeah, like you said, Phil, we've all got our own lives and we've got stuff going on, so there's not too much pressure on the fans, I think, to force that change in the industry and get what's better for artists. There's many people within that industry that probably aren't doing enough and are just settling for that paycheck. But sorry, Sam, I think you were going to ask Kieran a question, weren't you?
Oh, I was going to say, Kieran, out of all of us, is the most involved with music and musicians and art. Like, arguably day to day, he's coming across a lot more musicians, working with them and all that kind of stuff. So, like, how do you find like a healthy balance between, obviously wanting to hear all the music you want to hear, but also making sure that part of the ecosystem you are, working in is still kind of sustainable? Like, how do you kind of view it now?
I know what you mean, man. I feel like when I'm the kind of like artist where absorb, and it just kind of like comes out of me then for the creation aspect. But I do find that, so this is what I was going to say as well, kind of like just to round off how I'm feeling as well. I feel like when I see like a problem outside, or like just with other people, or like in the world in general, I always think like, what can I do to change myself actually to help make that better? And I feel like I kind of highlighted it earlier, which is I just want to I want to stop hyper consuming. I really feel like it's overstimulating me too much, and I feel like, so when I did my yoga training course last year, I did it for a month in summer, and I didn't listen to any music for a whole month. Like, and that was a crazy experience to do, because when I came back, I didn't really feel compelled. Like, it's crazy, this addiction, or this compelling urge we get to listen to music and then start to like consume it in like massive proportions as well. But when I first came back, like music just sounded different. Like I was listening to stuff and I was like, oh, that's not really like, it's not doing that thing that it used to do to me. And only like really great stuff, or things that I actually like connected with, were hitting me. I'm back to how I was before my yoga course right now. I'm not gonna lie, but this chat's kind of like inspired me to want to try and bring down a little bit, like if at all, if I can, and maybe then it'll actually inspire a bit more appreciation in myself, because I find that I'm most inspired to create stuff when I feel like connected to something, or like inspired by something. And like right now I feel like I'm inspired by like everything I'm listening to, and I'm listening to so much. Like I feel like I'm gonna have such high hours if like you just ranked the last 2 or 3 months. Like I feel sick how much I've listened to. I think I need to stop. But like I just want to come back to that space of feeling inspired again.
Oh, that's the end.
Hey, this is Sean, and thanks for listening to another episode of The Grey Area. Are you an upcoming artist, critic, journalist, or content creator? Hit us up on our Discord or in our YouTube comments if you want to share new music, take part in an interview, or are interested in collaborating. Links to these can be found in the show notes. Take care.